Euripides once said, "Time will reveal all things. It is a babbler. It will speak even when it is not asked." So even though time is a babbler, fortunately we have an expert on time with us tonight who is not a babbler and has spoken because we have asked her to do so. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and most of all, Abigail. Tonight we are here to evaluate Abigail's speech, Time, a Matter of the Heart. In order to evaluate the speech, we're going to look at three areas. First of all, we're going to look at the areas that Abigail did well. Second, we're going to look at the areas that Abigail could have improved upon. And third, we're going to look at some recommendations for the future. First area we're going to look at is some areas that Abigail did well. First of all, I thought Abigail picked a very interesting topic, time, the abstract concept of time. This is something that we can definitely all relate to. This is something we all care about. This is something that everybody relates to, whether we are Toastmasters or not. So she was able to pick a topic which we're all interested in, and therefore we can learn some different things from her. Second thing that I thought Abigail did very well was audience interaction. She started off her speech with a question, she used humor throughout her speech, and she even told us a story with a prop in the middle of the speech. We were able to follow along with her, we were able to interact with her during the speech, and because of that, it was able to maintain our interest, and we were able to better listen to the things that Abigail was able to say. Second area we're going to look at tonight is some areas that Abigail could have improved upon. First area that I think I would like Abigail to work on is her gestures. While it was good that she did have gestures that she used throughout the speech, it seemed like her elbow was tied to her body throughout the entire speech. I'd like to see her gestures get much bigger. Move your arms out. That way you can accentuate more and your audience can better be able to tell what you're trying to say. Don't be afraid to make your gestures too big. Even though you think you might be too extravagant, you aren't. Don't worry about it. Second area that I would like Abigail to improve upon is some of the organization of her information. The overall thesis of her speech was that we should be concerned about the priorities of our time, that we should have heart matters be our priorities. But it seemed like she spent most of her speech talking about her research into time. And to be honest, it took me until about 2/3 of the way through the speech to actually figure out the thesis. Put that as something right away in your speech, something that you talk about so you know exactly what you're talking about and your audience can better follow along with you. So for recommendations for the future, I want you to continue to pick interesting topics, work on your gestures, and just work on a little bit of the organization of your thesis. Tonight we've looked at three different areas. Number one, we've looked at some areas that Abigail did well. Second, we've looked at some areas that Abigail can improve upon. And third, we've had some recommendations that Abigail can take into the future. So, even though Abigail has talked to us about time tonight, we can see that she is definitely not a babbler. And I will definitely ask her to speak whenever she wants to on time or any subject she talks about during her Toastmasters career. Mr. Contest Chair.